Last year, Montech released their HyperFlow 360 ARGB. Took the marketplace by storm due to exceptional value for money without sacrificing either aesthetics or performance. For £80, this was an absolute chart topper. So when Montech reached out and asked me if I wanted to check out their LightFlow ARGB, I jumped at the opportunity. Again, a 360mm all-in-one. Aesthetic wise, got RGB, but does it live up to its big brother's reputation? Well, I can tell you straight off the bat, from a value proposition, it's £20 cheaper than the HyperFlow. So if you're looking for an all-in-one and you've got a budget around £60 here in the UK, should this be on your list? Let's test it. Let's open this up. Let's take a look at this packaging. So Montech LightFlow ARGB 360, endless reflection, infinite performance. So it comes with our three 120mm fans, and then we've got our infinity mirror here and a little bit of light on our pump. As you can see here, it's supported via all of the ARGB connections, so Asus Aura, RGB Fusion, Mystic Light from MSI, and ASRock's Polychrome Sync. Really important information this. So LGA 1700 and 1851 from an Intel perspective are the only two sockets that this will support. From an AMD perspective, AM4 and AM5, no problems at all. A little bit of information on the back. So we've got our infinity mirror on our pump. Unleash peak performance with supreme water pump, saying that it can reach 3100 RPMs. In terms of the radiator, it's talking about a revolutionary fin stack for ultimate cooling power. And then in terms of warranty, enjoy peace of mind with an extended 6-year warranty, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to bore you to death with regards to the specifications. I'll put this on the screen so you guys can see it, and we'll talk about it more throughout the video. So inside, we'll get a little user guide, our instruction manual for our mounting options, both Intel and AMD. We get all of our actual screws that we're going to require and standoffs. They're nicely labelled, so LGA 1700, AM4, AM5, and then in this one we also get our spring-loaded screws and the rest of the screws we need to secure our radiator to our case. In this bag we get our mounting brackets. So we have both our back plate for Intel, LGA 1700 or 1851, and this is the actual bracket we would use for Intel. And then last but not least, we have our AMD mounting bracket, which is here. Montech like to give us some thermal paste, which is a nice inclusion. Let's take the rest of it out. One thing that I do really love about all-in-ones nowadays is all of the fans come pre-installed. Now, it don't sound like a great deal. You've got to install 12 screws, 4 screws per fan, but it's just a lovely feeling, guys, when all those 3 fans are already pre-installed. Now, taking a closer look at this, guys, as we mentioned, we've got these 3 fans already installed. These particular fans are 11 bladed fans as well. They are RGB or addressable RGB, and on this side you will see that they're nicely all daisy chained together to give us a seamless connection, which is going to hide at the back of a case. So from an aesthetics point of view, if you're looking for a really nice clean and tidy build, Montech's got you covered. You'll notice that they've all got rubber grommets to stop any vibrations or anything like that, so nice little touch, which goes an extra long way, especially on a very affordable all-in-one. From a radiator perspective, they've gone with an ultra clean aesthetic, so no more Montech logos on either side of this particular radiator. The radiator is 27mm in terms of thickness, and it's actually got 20 fins per inch on this particular radiator as well. Really nice clean look, no blemishes, no paintwork defects or anything like that. Turning our attention to the actual tubes, and we've got some nice little rubber grommets down here which attach to our actual radiator, gives it a nice little clean transition from metal to obviously rubber. We've got our fill port just at the top up here. And one thing that I really do like with Montech all-in-ones is the flexibility that you get with the tubes. The one thing that we don't get this time around is the actual cable tidiers or the tube tidiers, and it holds it relatively nice together. Total tube length is 400 millimeters from pump to radiator. Movement at the pump is nice. I would say just wiggle those around just to give yourself a little bit of flexibility when trying to put that onto our actual CPU. You'll see off of our pump, we have these two cables. These two cables are primarily going to go onto our CPU header, and then we've also got a 5-volt 3-pin addressable cable, which is here, which is going to control our RGB on our infinity mirror. The max height on our pump is 56 millimeters. Our copper cold plate here is relatively good size, so regardless of whether you're going with Intel or going with AMD, this is going to get really good coverage of those CPUs. Going to press down on our IHSs and ultimately going to draw that heat out of the CPU, giving us hopefully some relatively good performance. So on face value, it's an exceptional value proposition for a 360mm all-in-one cooler. Comes in obviously both colorways, black and white. And guys, with the exception or exclusion of these pump tidiers that you get on the HyperFlow, I don't think there is much, if not anything else, which is missing. I'm really excited to see what the aesthetics of the RGB and this lovely infinity mirror is going to look like on our pump. From a connectivity point of view, it's going to be very, very straightforward. We can actually take our included cable here. We're just going to connect that into this one here. And then we know that's going to go onto a 4-pin PWM and a 3-pin 5-volt addressable header. And the exact same when it comes down to our pump. It's going onto our CPU header, and then again, it's going on to a 3-pin 5-volt addressable header on our motherboard. And our motherboard RGB software is going to obviously control all of this nicely together. With that being said, one of the most important things is longevity. A lot of people say, do you have to maintain them? What do you have to do? How do you clean them? Relatively straightforward, guys. I literally get myself a little fan blower, turn it on, give it a little clean. Once every couple of months, it gets all the debris, dust and horribleness out of it. I can change obviously the thermal paste once every 3 to 6 months, something like that, if I'm experiencing any temperature problems. But the peace of mind that you're going to get a 6-year warranty means that Montech's standing by their products. I loved the HyperFlow. Will I love the LightFlow? Let's actually install it into another one of their products, the Montech King 95. Let's do some tests and see whether temperatures live up to its big brother. So installation into our case, we're going to need our AM5 standoffs. We're going to need our spring-loaded screws and our 12 screws to hold our radiator at the top of our case. We're going to need a little bit of thermal paste, and then we're going to need our AMD AM4, AM5 bracket. And all we're going to do is slide that in and it clicks into place. So this is our donor system here, guys. It's a Montech King 95 in white. So I thought it was only fitting that we put the LightFlow 360 ARGB in this particular case. Not only that, but I've done all of my testing with the last 20 all-in-ones on this 7800 X3D, 32 gigs worth of RAM in here with an RTX 4090 on this B650 board from Asus as well. We can push our cables through to the back, drop that nicely into place. We'll take our 12 screws, and all we're going to do is line this up, but I'm going to go through and put all 12 of these screws in place. What we need now is our 4 standoffs, and you'll see on here we have a very long side, which is our post, and then inside there we've got a small little bit, and all we're looking to do is to screw them into each corner of our socket. We want to take some thermal paste, apply this however you want. I'm going to attach our pump onto our CPU header, which is this grey one down here, and then we're going to remove our plastic film. Really important to do that. Drop our mounting bracket with the 4 holes over our 4 posts. And once you've got it in place, keep it nice and still. Take your 4 spring-loaded screws and put them on. I would aim to do 1 on one corner and then 1 on the other corner whilst holding this down. Then you can go around in a crisscross pattern, a few turns on one side, a few turns on the other side, and keep alternating until they bottom out. We can then push our 3-pin 5-volt to control our pump RGB through to the back of the case, tidy these cables up as well, and then we'll add some power and see what it looks like. Because the King 95 has an included RGB hub, we can connect both 3-pin 5-volts to the case. Our 3 fans will require 4-pin PWM power, and we can plug that into the PWM hub as well. That's ultra clean, guys. The cable's nicely routed up the side there. We've got one little peel. I think we're ready for the first boot. Power on. Power button. I knew it, guys, because it always does the same thing. Whenever we plug anything into this ARGB hub that's included in this King 95, everything syncs beautifully. That looks absolutely fantastic. And there we go. We've got a nice little post straight through to Windows. No issues at all. What we'll do is we'll load up Cinebench R24. We're going to do a few single core and multi-core tests. As I said, it is currently 27 degrees in here, so it's pretty hot. I've got the log burner on in the other room. Let's check it out. Aesthetics, tick. Value, tick. Performance is next. So we're now running our multi-core test here. We've got hardware monitor open over here. We've got Cinebench R23 open over here. We're going to let this run for 10 minutes. It's running now for about 4 or 5 minutes. We'll let this finish and I'll revert back with our findings. So there we have it, guys. We've got a score of 17,319 and we have a max temp of 80.9 degrees. The fans have started to obviously decrease, and our package temperature is dropping down quite dramatically from that 80.9. We're now down to 64, and it will continue to decrease. I would say an idle temperature of around somewhere around 40 degrees. I think the key things to take away here is we're talking about a £60 all-in-one. 3 ARGB fans, a very clean aesthetic, 3 to 4 minute easy installation, and it delivers in terms of performance. Now I'll cross-reference that with the DT360 that I did a few weeks ago. I will say that the room temperature back then was 22 degrees. It's 27.8 in here at the minute, so there was near enough a 6-degree difference, and that achieved 72.9. So 73 and 81. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those where 8-degree difference, but there's a 6-degree in temperature difference. So relatively 2 to 3 degree difference at double the cost for that all-in-one versus this one's. I really like it, guys. I think Montech's done it again. Fantastic value for money. Aesthetics are ticked off, and from a performance perspective, I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. What do you think? Have you got a Montech cooler? Did you get the HyperFlow ARGB? I think it's a hole-in-one again, guys. Amazing value for money. If you've got one, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm a big fan of Montech, guys, mainly due to obviously price versus performance. I think you can build exceptional systems now without breaking the bank when it comes to cash. And I mean that by performance and aesthetics as well. So let me know down in the comments. I want to say a huge thank you to Montech for sending this out. If you've got any questions, let me know and I'll get back to each and every one of them. If you're not already subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Make sure to leave a like and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.